Hello everyone, welcome to the Balaton Park circuit. Here for round 2 of Ferrari Challenge Europe in the sunshine of Hungary. I say that almost in inverted commas because we have had every sort of weather condition here. So this is where we are then, just outside the Balaton Lake. It's very much a holiday area of this region of Hungary. And the track is bone dry right now. If you heard just an hour ago, that wasn't the case. But it is now dry for our Trofeo Pirelli drivers to make their way onto the grid. The mix of Pirelli and Pirelli AM drivers. The Pirelli drivers with the red strip across the top of the windscreen. The Pirelli AM drivers with the white strip across the top of the windscreen. Some 19 of those combined drivers that will take to this 4.1 kilometer circuit. The track temperature is currently 32 degrees, the air temperature 23. We have 52% humidity and just a little 4 kilometer per hour strength of wind, which greets us here. So there we can see the grid assembling, and it's a very, very busy place at the start of a race. And drivers in the final stages of preparation. And there we can see the number 4 car of that is Andrew Morrow, Trofeo Pirelli AM driver, who is the current and reigning Ferrari Challenge UK Trofeo Pirelli champion. He's racing not only here in Europe but also in the UK as well. And a very, very good driver is Andrew Morrow. His father, Philip, was just in shot there. And his driver coach is Johnny Kane down there, just offering final words of advice to Andrew Morrow, who drives for the Charles Hurst team here in the Ferrari Challenge. Number 86 driver is Bence Valent. Young whippersnapper that is Bence Valent for Ferrari Budapest and Rosso Corsa. What a great driver he is. And he banked a P2 in qualifying, just bested by Giacomo Alto, another very, very quick young driver. The driver of car number 69 is Marco Zanazzi, the CDP Pinetti Motorsport driver, P3 within class for that Pirelli AM driver. Marco Zanazzi, always good value to watch out there on track and ready to do battle, that's for sure. These wonderful new Ferrari 296 challenge cars that the drivers are driving, whether in Pirelli or Pirelli AM. The 3-litre twin-turbo V6 power plant, which produces some 700 HP. Philip Barron is going from P3 on the grid for Go Motorsport Barron Racing Team. A dual combo for Philip Barron across any racing weekend, because not only is he a racing driver, but team boss as well. And you can never bet against Philip Barron doing well. And Klaus Zibranson for Formula Racing. What a brilliant job he did in qualifying. His lap time of 1:34.765 gave him pole position within class. It's P4 overall for Klaus Zibranson.
Interesting and nice to be here. I guess there was not a single day where it got less excitement or where I was not feeling it. It's a dream come true for me every time when I step into the car. I guess it's a quite narrow and fast track, so it's new for everyone, very challenging, very technical, and the whole construction is very nice, everything is new. step is huge from the 488 Challenge Evo to this one. But the car's very fast, very good in tight corners and fast corners, so the whole level of speed is much higher than the previous one. Ferrari for me as a child was always kind of religion, so it's like a real dream coming true. And the season started quite bad for us, so we're not very happy with the first weekend, but 6 weekends to come, so we keep on fighting.
The Berlin-based Hanno Laskowski talking to us earlier about his impressions, not only of the circuit, but of the new 296 challenge car as well. And Hanno banked to P4 in qualifying, P4 within class. It means P8 on the grid overall. Hanno Laskowski, and congratulations, Hanno, to your new addition to the family. So Hanno Laskowski then, he drives for the Emil Frey Racing Organisation as we look at the number 5 car of Laura Villas, another young, talented driver, also choosing the Ferrari Challenge to elevate their motor racing career, as so many young drivers are doing now. Qualified 8th, a lap time of 1:36.189. And that is just a beautiful shot, isn't it, of Armin Arifpour's car. Drives for Riller and Schnauk, and their beautiful combination of colours and patterns across the Armin Arifpour car. These Ferrari 296 cars then, and as I've said on many occasions before, when the driver jumps out of the car and is beaming from ear to ear, such is the joy that you get from driving these truly fantastic racing cars. The 296 much as close to a GT3 car as any Ferrari Challenge car has ever been. Big news on our grid for Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli is the fact that Franz Engstler is not here and is indeed replaced by his son. The driver of the Go Motorsport Engstler car is young Luca Engstler, another very talented young driver, DTM race winner I should add as well. And he will be going from P5 within class. That's P10 in the order overall, just behind Hendrik Viol, who qualified his Scuderia Prague car. P5 in class, P9 in the grid overall. I remind you that the Pirelli drivers have a red strip across the top of the windscreen. Our Pirelli AM drivers have a white strip across the top of the windscreen. And it was Klaus Sabranson who gave us pole position for the AM drivers, and Giacomo Altoe that pole position for our Trofeo Pirelli drivers. The cars are all lined up behind the Richard Mille safety car, as you can see, and they will be heading off on a formation lap led by the Richard Mille safety car before the safety car peels off into the pit lane, and it will be the responsibility of Giacomo Altoe and the local driver Ben Svalint to control the pace of the rolling start when we get it underway in but a few minutes from now. Race duration 30 minutes plus 1 lap here of the Balaton circuit, which is some 4.1 kilometers long and is, as Hanno Laskowski said, a really technical, challenging track of 16 turns, 10 left, 6 right, hardly any elevation change. But nonetheless, it's a track that rewards you or punishes you if you get it wrong. Alongside me is Nico Spalek. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Trofeo Pirelli here at Balaton Park Circuit, the second of our 7-event calendar. And we got off to a great start in Mugello just a few weeks ago, but we really look forward to the first races of the Trofeo Pirelli here in Hungary.
Going to be dramatic, I feel sure. So there, the cars in the final stages and drivers in final stages of preparation as we take a look back at what happened in Mugello. And for Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli AM, it was 2 absolutely exhilarating races to launch the 2024 campaign. A thrilling race with plenty of overtakes. Franz Engstler and Klaus Sabranson winners on Saturday. And then Sunday's race again brought plenty of drama with both overtakes and track limits entering and playing key roles. Eventually, Hendrik Viol won in the AM class, while Pirelli went the way of Ben Svalint, earning him the championship lead entering his home race. where he starts, of course, from P2 on the grid. Stand by, the race start is about to come. Right on cue. The Richard Mills safety car leads the cars away on their formation lap. So the Ferrari 296 Challenge cars then, their first race here at Balaton Park. There's been testing, there's been free practice, there's been qualifying in both dry and wet conditions, and here's the grid in full. Giacomo Altoe going from P1. From P2 it's Ben Sverlin, P3 Philip Barron, and then it is Klaus Sebranson, best of the AM drivers, ahead of Andrew Morrow and Max Mugelli. Then it's Marco Zanazzi and Hanno Laskowski, Hendrik Viol and Luca Engstler. And then it's James Owen and Herbert Gies before Laura Villars and David Akabadze, Gianmarco Martioletti and Kim Eriksson, Otto Blank and Armin Arifpour, P17 and P18. And then Ruslan Sadriv bringing up the rear, P19. So let's hear from our pole sitter then, Giacomo Altoe.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I'm really thankful for the team because they did an amazing job. The car was really good. So thanks to all my crew and all the team. Yeah, the car was amazing in quali. Track conditions were not too easy because track was quite green with the heavy rain of this night. So it wasn't easy to find the right angle to rotate the car and be quick. But yeah, at the end it was a good lap. So I'm happy.
Well done, Giacomo. You did a fine job in, as you say, pretty tricky conditions in qualifying. The Emil Ferrari racing driver making the most of those, and of course goes from pole position. He will, though, have the local hero, Ben Sverlin, right alongside him, going from P2. Ahead of Philip Barron, who you can never discount from being very lively at the start of any race in which he contests. He goes from P3, and then it is the best of the AM drivers, Klaus Sebranson. Again, another very, very lively driver. He's going from P4 on the grid, but he's P1 in class ahead of Andrew Morrow, who is second in the Pirelli AM class. We're on board with Giacomo Altoe then. There you can see the Richard Mills safety car just in front. And the drivers will line up in side-by-side formation. And then it will be the responsibility of our front row of Giacomo Altoe and Ben Sverlin then to control the pace of the rolling start as we get into our 30-minute plus one-lap race for Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. Their race one. Not far from getting underway. You can see the track conditions now bone dry. The only thing I would say is, though, probably the curbs and grass containing quite some water that has been held there. So if you have the unfortunate offline moment, you could find yourself in strife, really, because quite a lot of water is being held. The new hotel under construction here at Balaton Park, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen. It's just a couple of turns to do for our drivers. Safety car will head off straight into the pit lane, and we're on board, approaching the start-finish line and the lighting gantry. And when the lights go green, we will be away and racing. Our mix of Pirelli and Pirelli AM drivers, Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Race 1 is go. Good start from Giacomo Altoe. Good start also from Philip Barron, and plenty going on just behind them as we head into turn number 1. Something of a pinch point. Max Mugelli trying to make a move early on. And so too was Andrew Morrow. Andrew Morrow getting a very, very good start, I believe, as we go through turn number 1 right now into turn number 2. And there you can see, oh, it is quite a tight circuit when you see it from that particular vantage point. And we're right on board here, looking backwards from Giacomo Altoe at the rest of the pack here. And Philip Barron, as I mentioned, having a really, really good start, pushing himself up to P2. And Andrew Morrow doing a good job as well. Ben Sverlin, big loser right at the start. He's dropped back to P4 with Hendrik Viol looking lively, and so too Luca Engstler. And Max Mugelli trying to make up places right at the start of the race as well. So Giacomo Altoe leading. And there you can see him trying to break away a bit from Philip Barron, and then it is Andrew Morrow before we see Ben Sverlin, who's being hounded now by Hendrik Viol, ahead of Luca Engstler and Klaus Sebranson. So Giacomo Altoe from Emil Ferrari Racing leading this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race. the sound of these wonderful 296 cars going past that particular camera point there is a joy to behold. That the Hendrik Viol car for Scuderia Prague Racing then, as the first lap is put into the book, and confirmation of the order on the left-hand side of the screen for you. With Giacomo Altoe leading from Philippe Barron, then it's Andrew Morrow, Benz Valiant, Hendrik Viol, then Luca Engsler, Klaus Branson, then Max Mugelli, and then it's Marco Zanassi and Hanno Laskowski. They occupy the top 10 positions in this Trofeo Pirelli race. You can see Andrew Morrow moved up 2 places, moving up 4 places, Hendrik Viol, and the same is true of Luca Engsler. So Hendrik Viol then, who's heading that Luca Engsler car at the moment. Hendrik Viol, who's running P5 overall, but P2 within class. And Philippe Barron beginning to turn the wick up now on Giacomo Altoe. That's the order in terms of Trofeo Pirelli. I remind you that Pirelli cars all run with the red strip across the top of the windscreen. The AM drivers with the white strip across the top of the windscreen. And Andrew Morrow leading that Trofeo Pirelli AM race ahead of Hendrik Viol and Klaus Zibranson. That's the way it looks in Trofeo Pirelli AM. For Trofeo Pirelli, it's Giacomo Altoe from Philippe Barron. And Hendrik Viol still looking very, very lively. And let's get a replay of the start. And there you can see as the cars cross the line. Well, Giacomo Altoe doing everything exactly right. And Philippe Barron very good on the start. It just seemed like Benz Valiant bogged down a little bit right at the start. Didn't get quite the start that he really needed and or anticipated, I would suggest. And from a different camera angle here, you can see them all going into turn number 1, which is something of a pinch point here. And right in the middle of it all was Philippe Barron. Here we can see from Benz Valiant, and this is where he kind of went backwards, really, going into turn number 1. I mean, one thing I will say is that Benz avoided too much trouble. I think he got just a little bit of a knock there. As you will recall, they were 3 abreast at one point, and the Hendrik Viol car you can just see to the right-hand side of your screen, or you could, as Andrew Morrow and Philippe Barron were trading places right at the front of the pack, as they were both in pursuit of Giacomo Altoe. And this is where they went 3 abreast. Philippe Barron did make contact. We thought we heard contact on the back of the Benz Valiant car, and sure enough, there was. So in the meantime, then, let's get back to the live position, where it is Giacomo Altoe breaking away from Philippe Barron, and those two have really broken away from Andrew Morrow and Benz Valiant, and then it's Hendrik Viol and Luca Engsler. So the top 3 for Trofeo Pirelli, it's Altoe, Barron, and Valiant. For the AM drivers, it's Morrow, Viol, and Zibranson. There you can see Benz Valiant flashing his lights furiously at Andrew Morrow, just to try and get Andrew to make the slightest of a mistake so that he could go by and try and get on terms with Philippe Barron. But Andrew Morrow, steadfast in his defence of that position. Now it's a battle that's going on, not in the same class, but of course track position is everything. And here comes Benz Valiant diving to the inside of Andrew Morrow. And Benz Valiant does go through to pick up P3 in the race overall. He always was P3 within class, but now he'll feel that he can try and get on terms potentially with Philippe Barron. So Benz Valiant and his father Tibor are both racing in the Ferrari Challenge this weekend. And of course, this being a local race for them, huge amount of friends and family and guests are here to enjoy what these drivers can do. There is Andrew Morrow then, and he's going to have Hendrik Viol for company very, very shortly. Hendrik Viol, of course, taking a race win in the opening round at Mugello. He'll be keen to replicate that success, and what's denying him? It's Andrew Morrow at the moment in the all-red car there that you can see, centre picture, running P4 in the race overall, but P1 within his Trofeo Pirelli AM class. Number of drivers being warned with regards to track limits, and some of those drivers that I can indicate include Laura Villars, who we can see right here, the Trofeo Pirelli AM driver. Oh, and that was a big turnaround for Laura. Manages to get the car almost pointing in the right direction once again. continue on her way. So 23.5 minutes remaining. Plus a lap in this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race. For the moment, Hendrik Viol has not really been able to mount a challenge on Andrew Morrow for the lead in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM race. Is it because his rear-view screen is full of the Luca Engstler car? As we receive instructions, the car number 77, which is Ruslan Sadriev, is going to get a time penalty, and the first time penalty for track limits. He will get 5 seconds added to his race time, and given that he's running down there in P13 at the moment, it's not going to be critical to weigh things where things are right at the start or right at the top end of the results at the moment. Of course, they're not results, they're just standings at the moment. There are other drivers that are being warned with regards to track limits. Basically, you get 3 warnings, then you get a time penalty, and then any repeat offences, the time penalty increases and increases. So track limits are a real issue to be taken very seriously by our drivers in the Ferrari Challenge. Here, of course, at a brand new track for them in Balaton Park in Hungary. So now that Ben Svalint has broken away from Andrew Morrow, see him really putting the pressure on and trying to get on terms with Philippe Baron, who is running P2 in Trofeo Pirelli. And the gap between Philippe Baron and Ben Svalint is around about 3 seconds. Now, that might have come down as they cross the timing line now. Indeed, it has. So Ben Svalint is on a charge here. He's taken about 5/10 out of Philippe Baron as he tries to get closer to him. There's Hendrik Viol. And then Luca Engstler involved in quite a battle there with Klaus Sebranson in the green and black 296 that you can see there, who is chasing down Luca Engstler. Now, Luca Engstler is the Pirelli filling in a Pirelli AM sandwich between Hendrik Viol and Klaus Sebranson, who are P2 and P3 in class at the moment. And Luca Engstler is, as I say, in the middle of them, running P6 in the race overall, but P4 within Trofeo Pirelli. Luca Engstler making his debut in the Ferrari Challenge this weekend, and a very welcome young driver as an addition to our Ferrari Challenge grid. A very talented young driver, and so many young talented drivers choosing the Ferrari Challenge now to elevate their motor racing careers. Giacomo Altoe is one of those drivers who's P1 right now and sets the fastest lap ahead of Philippe Baron and then Ben Svalint, who are P2 and P3, both in the race overall and in Trofeo Pirelli 2. Leader in Trofeo Pirelli AM is Andrew Morrow, who we can see just going through the shot there. There's Hendrik Viol, who is P2 in Trofeo Pirelli AM, and P3 is held by Klaus Sebranson currently. The cars sound and look utterly awesome here. Number 3 car is driven by Max Mugelli, who's running P8 overall, but P5 within the Trofeo Pirelli class. Max Mugelli, a stunning driver, and loving this Ferrari 296 Challenge, as is this man who is leading the race. We go on board, look at the telemetry on the right-hand side. You can see what gear is in, what the speed is, how much braking pressure is being used, and up to 4th gear now, nearly 5th gear as we get towards 230, 240, not quite, kilometers per hour as you brake into this turn. Into 2nd gear, 3rd gear right now. Try and carry speed through. They're back on the loud pedal. Brilliant to have those graphics. A time penalty being awarded right now to Laura Villas for track limits and repeated track limits violations. So Laura's going to get 5 seconds time penalty added to her race time, which will maybe affect her P17 position in the race overall right now. Absolutely undaunted by anyone is Giacomo Altoe. And there you can see the all-red car of Philippe Baron that's running P2. Then P3 is Ben Svalint, who ambitiously flashes his lights at Philippe Baron in the hope that Philippe will make just a little bit of a mistake, as Klaus Sebranson seemingly is about to go through on the car of Luca Engstler as they go absolutely side by side here. But Engstler is absolutely not prepared to give away even a centimetre between the two of them. What a battle this is. It's not even in the same category, but it's brilliant for us to watch as Klaus Sebranson does get the job done. That was a brilliant overtake on Luca Engstler. Well done to Klaus Sebranson. P3 in Trofeo Pirelli Am. And now is a P6 in the race overall. Fantastic stuff. They were side by side for corner after corner. And in the end, Klaus Sebranson, his steadfast determination paid off. And he has gone through. And now he's broken away a little bit from Luca Engstler. And of course, Klaus Sebranson will chase down the purple and yellow car of Hendrik Viol, who's running P2 in Trofeo Pirelli Am. The Trofeo Pirelli Am class being led by that man. Number 4, Andrew Morrow. Then it's Hendrik Viol and Klaus Sebranson. So there is Andrew Morrow, who's going to have his wits about him now, because all of a sudden, Hendrik Viol is either going to be propelled closer to Andrew Morrow by the hard-charging Klaus Sebranson, or Andrew Morrow is going to be able to escape because Hendrik Viol is going to be too busy defending his P2 position from Klaus Sebranson. Let's see how that develops over the next few laps, although, just a warning at this stage, car number 89, which is the green and black car of Klaus Sebranson, has just exceeded track limits at turn 12. It's only a warning at this juncture, but repetitions of that and he could find himself facing a time penalty. There is Klaus Sebranson. There is Luca Engstler. Now, before arriving here at the Balaton Park circuit, Luca Engstler had neither driven the track nor the car. So Luca has been a real baptism of fire and doing a very, very credit-worthy job indeed. As indeed is Andrew Morrow. I mentioned earlier on, he is the current UK Trofeo Pirelli champion and is leading the Trofeo Pirelli Am race here at Balaton Park in that number 4 car. Hendrik Viol now beginning to feel the pressure of Klaus Sebranson right behind him. So this is a three-way fight for P1. Let's ride on board here with Hendrik Viol, who's right in the middle of this. The Scuderia Prague driver brakes hard now. Turns into the right-hander, back on the gas again, and then through this chicane as the left-hander completes that, and then see just how technical this track is. Back onto the throttle. He was very gentle on the throttle there to avoid the rear end just breaking away. And here we can see Laura Villars trying hard to make up places here and making just a little bit of contact there with Otto Blank in the number 71 car, which on that occasion did not pay off. Kim Eriksson drives the number 10 car for Formula Racing, another very good Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Am driver who's perhaps not having the race that he would have liked today, because he's down there in P17 overall. It's P12 within class. P2 within class is Hendrik Viol, continuing to be hounded by Klaus Sebranson, who has been able to provoke a mistake from Hendrik Viol. Is he going to dive to the inside as they approach turn number 1 now? Well, to be fair, I think that Hendrik Viol really rather covered that off. Is there a little touch between the two of them? But if not, he certainly got very close to him, did Klaus Sebranson. And that allows Andrew Morrow to rub his hands with invisible soap and just breathe a sigh of relief, really, as he is able to open up a margin of about a second and a bit over the Hendrik Viol and Klaus Sebranson car as we go back on board with the Scuderia Prague driver, Hendrik Viol. There you can see the graphics on the right-hand side of your screen. Third gear, back on the throttle once again. Red line rev limiter, fifth gear now. 170, 180 kilometers per hour, 190 up to 220, 230 before braking once again for this left-hander. Brilliant driving from Hendrik Viol. Through that chicane he comes, just kisses the curb on the out. And I have to say, there are places where Hendrik Viol is getting much closer to Andrew Morrow. When you set the car up, you set it up as a compromise across the entire track layout and, of course, for the driver's particular style of driving. And just in places, the Hendrik Viol setup, I would suggest, looks superior to the Andrew Morrow setup. And, of course, Hendrik Viol is having to do it all, whilst right behind him is Klaus Sebranson, who would love to convert the P3 class that he currently holds into P2. Leading the race, and leading the race by a margin of 5.5 seconds, is this man, Giacomo Aldoe, the ML Ferrari Racing driver who we're on board with now. Again, we Put those graphics to the right-hand side of your screen as he builds speed, 200 kilometers per hour, 220, 230, very nearly to 240 before braking. Really good to see those images and to know what Giacomo is going through inside the Ferrari 296 Challenge car. Altoe from Baron, from Valiant, from Engsler, from Mugelli. Here is Andrew Morrow then leading the Trofeo Pirelli Am race from Hendrik Viol and Klaus Sebranson. Then right behind them it is the car of Luca Engsler, who of course is a Trofeo Pirelli driver. And in Trofeo Pirelli he's running in P4. So Hendrik Viol now just breaking away a little bit from Klaus Sebranson and getting a bit closer to Andrew Morrow. Now, Andrew is a young driver, talented young driver, who's taken to the Ferrari Challenge like the proverbial duck to water. And decided to come and race in Europe this year, having won the UK Championship. Knew that the competition would be stiff in Europe, and that has proven to be the case. However, it's a test that he's taken on board, and he's relishing, it has to be said. And he's a wonderful addition. Another young driver addition to the Ferrari Challenge pack is Andrew Morrow, who puts another lap in the book and has a margin of just under 9/10 ahead of Hendrik Viol and then Klaus Sebranson. Now, Andrew has just been warned about track limits at turn 12 as well. And turn 12 is the corner that really catches the drivers out in terms of track limits. And just to remind you, you get 3 track limits warnings before a time penalty is applied. And Hendrik Viol now is having to make his 296 Challenge very, very wide indeed. Because Klaus Sebranson comes calling as he dives to the inside now, but surely he carries too much speed. Yes, he does. Good, cool, collective thinking from Hendrik Viol, who just let him take it because he knew that he was always going to be able to rotate the car far better than Klaus Sebranson, and that's precisely what happened. So, valiant effort from Klaus Sebranson, but it was just too much speed going into that turn, and he was never going to be able to get the car rotated. Hendrik Viol could anticipate that, and was able to just retake that place that momentarily of P2 that he had lost. Andrew Morrow continuing to lead. Car number 26 is picking up a time penalty, and that is for track limits, and car number 26 is driven by James Owen, the Meridian Modena Engsler driver, who is currently running P6 in the Pirelli Am class. So that's very unfortunate. James Owen picking up that time penalty. Hendrik Viol breathing a sigh of relief just for the moment because of Klaus Sebranson's bold and ambitious move to try and overtake him, which meant that his futile move meant that Hendrik Viol is able to escape up the road. But here comes Klaus Sebranson once again in. Klaus Sebranson looks really, really lively on brakes and gets very much closer to Hendrik Viol in braking sections. Andrew Morrow holding on to this P1, and I say holding on, it's really being a tad unfair to Andrew, who's done a very good job and hasn't really been under pressure from Hendrik for the entire race. And Andrew has got about 9/10 over Hendrik Viol. Hendrik Viol really rather less up against Klaus Sebranson. This is our race leader, Giacomo Altoe for Emil Frey Racing. On board here. Accelerates now. So, now if you look at the graphics on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see a little red bar. Not the big pink one, that means fastest lap from each driver in each category, but the red bar indicates a 5-second time penalty. And now Laura Villars trying to come through here, and a good ambitious attempt by Laura to try and get by Otto Blank, but it didn't work. And right behind Laura is Kim Eriksson, and this is the problem when you're hunting and being hunted at the same time, because Kim Eriksson is a very lively and very good racing driver who will try and take advantage. Now, bear in mind that Laura Villars has got a 5-second time penalty to be applied at the end of the race. She wants to get as far up the order as she can and to negate that 5-second time penalty. The others with time penalties are James Owen and Ruslan Sadriv, as you can see from the red bars on the left-hand side of the graphics there, or on the right-hand side of the graphics, the entire graphics pack on the left-hand side of the screen. So if you're wondering what that little red indicator is, right-hand side of the graphics, it is where a driver has had a time penalty applied. So Giacomo Altoe continuing to lead for Trofeo Pirelli, and leading for Pirelli Am is Andrew Morrow. However, Hendrik Viol has upped the ante a little bit now. Whether he's being propelled into this somewhat by Klaus Branson, who, as you can see, is taking completely different lines to Hendrik Viol. There's two reasons for that. One is to fill Hendrik's rearview screen full of the Klaus Branson car, but it's also in the hope that Hendrik will feel pressured into making a small error, which he hasn't done yet. If anyone has made an error, it was Klaus Branson in trying to overtake Hendrik Viol. He just tried a little bit too hard, and Hendrik, keeping cool, calm and collected, was able to just recover the P2 position that momentarily lost. And there you can see confirmation of those time penalties awarded on the left-hand side, on the graphics on the left-hand side of your screen. Here comes Klaus Branson again, trying to get a lull him into a full sense of security and sell Hendrik Viol a bit of a dummy there. Didn't work on that occasion, but you get the impression that actually Klaus Branson is being pushed into this a little bit by Luca Engsler, because Luca Engsler had that position taken away by Klaus Branson earlier on, and I get the feeling that Luca Engsler would like to get that position back again, even though it's a non-class or non-category battle that's going on. The further up the order Luca Engsler can finish, the better he will feel about his debut race in the Ferrari Challenge. Another young, talented driver, as I've mentioned, racing in the Ferrari Challenge, as indeed is Andrew Morrow, who's leading in Trofeo Pirelli Am. So Andrew Morrow then, his last lap, a 1:37.144. We've got just under 7 minutes remaining, plus one lap as we look at Laura Villars now. Trying hard, and in replay, the harder you try, sometimes it can punish you, but 10 out of 10 for effort for Laura Villars. If she didn't actually make it work on that occasion, time will come, I'm sure. Giacomo Altoe, can I just mention, is 7.5 seconds to the good. And Laura now is really rather on her own for Zenith Scuderia in the all-black number 5 car. And that is Ivo Horn to the right-hand side of your picture, who is the team boss of Scuderia Prague, who of course will be urging Hendrik Viol on. And you can see that Giacomo Altoe has even got past a back marking car now, and there's Philip Barron as Bens Valint is quietly getting closer to Philip Barron now. Bens Valint, the local star, the young driver of the 86 car, chasing Philip Barron, who is by no means old, but Philip Barron, certainly a Ferrari Challenge race winner to some huge degree in years gone by, and now team boss as well, and they are both approaching back marking car, and we'll be trying to get past that as quickly as they can. Giacomo Altoe though increases his lead still further. It's 8 seconds to the good over that man, Philip Barron. This is Andrew Morrow leading in Trofeo Pirelli Am, and Hendrik Viol just taking a look at the inside of Andrew Morrow. He is certainly closer than he's been for many laps, is Hendrik Viol. He's had the sweet taste of success in Trofeo Pirelli Am, certainly in the first round at Mugello, where he was on the top step of the podium. He'd love to repeat that feat, and to do so, he needs to get by the all-red number 4 car of Andrew Morrow, who is leading in Trofeo Pirelli Am currently. It's Marco Zanazzi who's the quickest of the Trofeo Pirelli Am drivers by dint of having set the fastest lap, and the fastest lap for Trofeo Pirelli, no surprise, comes from Giacomo Altoe. So Altoe from Barron from Valint for Trofeo Pirelli, but this battle is the one that is really beginning to hot up now between Morrow, Viol and Branson. This is for the top 3 in Trofeo Pirelli Am. All 3 of them are being pushed really right hard by Luca Engsler, who is a Trofeo Pirelli driver who's running P7 in the race overall, but P4 within his Trofeo Pirelli class. So as we cross the timing line now, we understand that we have 4 minutes and 5 seconds plus 1 lap remaining in this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race. Well, if Klaus Branson welded the front of his car to the back of the Hendrik Viol car, it couldn't be any closer, as you can see from that drone shot, as they continue on this 4.1 kilometer circuit. And we ride on board with our race leader, Giacomo Altoe, then, for Emil Frey Racing. And the graphics on the right-hand side of your screen, which I love following these, down to second gear now. Take a wide line through the first part of the corner so you can nail the apex on the out, and then 170, 180, 190, 200 kilometers per hour. Make that 220 right now, 230, 240, get to 250, and 260 before you're having to start to brake. Great driving from Giacomo Altoe. Philippe Baron and Bens Verlinde, P2, P3 in Trofeo Pirelli, with Andrew Morrow, Hendrik Viol and Klaus Sebranson in the Trofeo Pirelli AM race. And there is Philippe Baron. And for Andrew Morrow, well, the prospect of a better weekend here in Hungary than he had in the opening round at Mugello, though that was by no means a poor showing, a P6 and a P5, but Andrew is another driver having won the UK Championship for the Ferrari Challenge in Trofeo Pirelli, who likes the taste of success. And he's another young driver. Oh, as a car has gone around and has made contact with the barriers. That's right on the start-finish straight. I actually heard the tyres protesting, and that has gone around, and I rather feel that that could be Luca Engstler. No, it is the number 26 car of James Owen, who drives for that team. So James Owen is up against the barriers. Now, James was running P7 in class, and that was just by cutting the corner a little bit on the exit of the final turn, and just picked up a little bit of grass, and that is what propelled the car around. And James Owen is now resting against the barriers. Got wave double yellows, and here's Giacomo Altoe then into this chicane, who will come across that stricken James Owen car in just a moment. He'll see the wave double yellows. There, you can see from the marshal post there. Avoids that car. So turn 16 is where we have those wave double yellows then for the stricken James Owen car. James is perfectly okay, but the car is stuck against the barriers, and with only a minute plus 1 lap remaining, we have a yellow flag zone with the waved yellows. So every driver has to be aware of that and reduce speed. And Giacomo Altoe came across that and dealt with it. As Andrew Morrow now getting past the back marking car, which I assume is Armin Arif-Pour. And now you can see here just a little bit of the 296 of Hendrik Viol. This was a Ruslan Sadriv car that they're getting past, and there was a little bit of the Hendrik Viol car came off, courtesy of a little nerf from Klaus Sebranson. And Klaus Sebranson gets very wide and into the gravel and onto the grass as he goes rally crossing. He's never going to be able to hold on to this. Ruslan Sadriv has to take evasive action, and he clatters into the barriers. That was really, really unfortunate. And the irony is that Klaus Sebranson is able to continue, and for Ruslan Sadriv, who was back marking, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So we have now a double waved yellow at turn number 1 and turn 16 as Giacomo Altoe starts the final lap ahead of Philippe Baron and Bens Verlinde. Then it's Andrew Morrow and Hendrik Viol. Now that all going on means that Hanno Laskowski, who we heard from right at the beginning of the program, is up to P3 in Trofeo Pirelli AM. In replay, here you can see that was Klaus Sebranson doing everything he could to get on terms with Hendrik Viol. And then once the car was on the grass, which contains a lot of water, he clatters into the barriers, and in avoidance, unfortunately, Ruslan Sadriv took evasive action, and the evasive action kind of threw him into the wall. So very, very unfortunate. In the meantime, the ML Ferrari racing driver, Giacomo Altoe, over the curbs, back marking cars ahead, down through the gears, gives it an absolute footfall then, and onto this long straight. It's Laura Villar's car that he has ahead of him. And Giacomo Altoe heading towards what should be a fine result for him. Ahead of Philip Barron and Ben Svalint. Giacomo Altoe has one turn to do. Double waved yellows, but also a waved checkered flag as Giacomo Altoe wins Trofeo Pirelli Race 1. And it will be some time before we see Philip Barron and Ben Svalint, who are P2 and P3. They indeed get the checkered flag, so they are the top 3 in Trofeo Pirelli. And for Trofeo Pirelli Am, many congratulations to Andrew Morrow, who heads towards the checkered flag with one turn to do. He was chased the entire time by Hendrik Viol, but he kept his cool and he wins for Trofeo Pirelli Am. Does Andrew Morrow ahead of Hendrik Viol, P2. Hanno Laskowski should be the driver that takes P3. Indeed he does. So they are the top 3 in each of the categories, the Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am, and you can still see the James Owen car. And I have to say, well done to Race Control deciding that we didn't need a safety car right at the final stages of the race. And there, many congratulations inside the Emil Frey garages. It was a class drive from Giacomo Altoe. There will be an argument that he did the hard work in qualifying to give himself the best starting position. Well, a race then that was filled with drama right at the very end of the race. And well done, Giacomo Altoe, and well done to Andrew Morrow, celebrating his first win in Europe, I think. In fact, I know so. So well done to Andrew Morrow. As I said, he's used to winning because he won the Trofeo Pirelli UK Championship last year. And now he's taken his first win in the European season. Richly deserved, Nico.
Yeah, absolutely. Great drive, and great drive from our front runners. Emil Frey Racing obviously get double reason to celebrate because it's also Hanno Laskowski who finishes on P3. So 2 podiums for the Swiss team here on Saturday here at the Balaton Park circuit.
Now, car number 88 receiving a time penalty, and that's not going to upset the order because that's the Armin Arifpour car. So credit to all the drivers then. They had to take avoiding action on occasions, and there we can see the Trofeo Pirelli Am winner, Andrew Morrow. His father, Philip, will be absolutely delighted. He accompanies him on all his racing trips. And there, already parked up, is the car of Philip Barron and the car of our race winner, Giacomo Altoe. Tyre pressures monitored by the Pirelli engineers. Philip is out of the car. And so too is Giacomo right now. Well done, sir. So congratulations all round, and that's a nice pose from Giacomo atop the car for the photographs to be taken. And the drivers will be heading up to the podium in due course. There's Ruslan. You can't help but feel really sorry for Ruslan, who was taking avoiding action to avoid a
limits for half the race was a bit of pressure as well.
Listening to Johnny Kane then talking to his driver, who has taken the win, of course, Andrew Morrow. Well done to Giacomo Altoe ahead of Philip Barron and Ben Svalint, and Luca Engsler takes P4 with Max Mugelli taking P5 in Trofeo Pirelli. That's the confirmed classification. We'll bring you the classification for the AM drivers right now. It's Andrew Morrow from Hendrik Viol and Hanno Laskowski. Then it was Marco Zanazzi, Herbert Gies, Klaus Branson, David Akabadze, Gianmarco Marzialetti taking P8 ahead of Otto Blank, Kim Eriksson, Laura Villars, Armin Arifpour, James Owen and Ruslan Sadriv classifying as P12, 13 and 14 respectively. So we will be hearing from Giacomo Altoe in just a couple of moments' time. He is a race winner.
Giacomo, first of all, congratulations. You start your career here with the Ferrari Challenge Euro in the best way, P1 in this morning after a tricky qualifying session, and you made it. Thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you, thank you.
Well done, Giacomo. It must be remembered, of course, that you get an additional point for the fastest lap of the race as well. So when it comes to the Drivers' Championship at the end of the season, who knows, those points could be very, very important. We're going to be hearing from the Charleshurst driver, Andrew Morrow. He's victorious in Trofeo Pirelli Am. Well done, Andrew.
Andrew, congratulations for today. Can you tell us more about your race and your feeling with the 296 Challenge?
Yeah, good race for me. Got off to a good start. Got a good start off the line. Bit of a gap opened up on the inside. Managed to slip through by a few. And after that, just get the head down and focus and try and hit all the markers. So, no, it was a challenging race. A lot of pressure starting to come from the end, from behind as my tyres started to go off a wee bit. But no, I'm happy with how it went.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done, Andrew. Let's take a look at the highlights then of the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race. Just as you were looking at the highlights there, you could see Andrew's father, Philip, congratulating him. In the Drivers' Championship, Ben Svalin leading ahead of Philip Barron and Timo Glock, who sadly is not here this weekend. Then it's Franz Engstler. Giacomo Altoe up to P5. Then it's Max Mugelli and Jean-Luc Daria ahead of Luca Ludwig. That's the Trofeo Pirelli Drivers' Championship. Here's the Trofeo Pirelli Am Drivers' Championship. Hendrik Viol leading ahead of Marco Zanazzi, Klaus Branson. Andrew Morrow now coming calling. P4 ahead of James Owen, Hanno Laskowski, Danilo Del Favro and Herbert Gies. They occupy the top 8 positions, and the rest of the positions you can see there from P9 down to P15. We're going to head up to the podium next. Michele Mambelli is the presenter that you can see to the right-hand side of the screen, who will be bringing the drivers out onto the podium for their celebrations. 2 podiums to come. Of course, Trofeo Pirelli first of all, and here comes Ben Svalin, the local young superstar, taking P3. And the marginally older Philip Barron for Go Motorsport Barron Racing, who takes P2. And then on the top step of the podium, Giacomo Altoe. Well done, Giacomo. Great drive. National anthem to play out right now.
Italian national anthem and our club for the winner on the podium, team M3 Racing on the podium for you guys.
So, teams represented, ML Fry Racing, of course.
Our driver, our official driver, Niklas Nielsen.
And Niklas Nielsen making the trophy presentations, the Ferrari factory driver, driver of hypercar, of course. And as I mentioned, the hypercar, and we see the trophies being presented, should make mention of the fact that
Team ML Fry.
of course, they're going to be competing very, very soon, and all the trophies presented then by Niklas Nielsen. So, Giacomo Altoe, Philippe Baron and Benz Valent, and now Lucio Vigani making the Pirelli presentation. And the drivers all get to the top step of the podium. It's always good to see all the other drivers down there to salute their peers in racing. Such is the camaraderie in the Ferrari Challenge. It's always lovely to see. Trophies held aloft then. And the 1, 2, 3 in Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. Bear in mind, double bubble. We give you 2 times the value with our podiums because we have a AM podium to come as well. Who's going to be the first with the champagne? Well, I think it was Benz Valent, in all honesty. Didn't quite get the shot to see who did it first, but I think it was Benz Valent. For Ferrari Budapest, Rosso Corsa, he banks P3. Taking P2 for the Gome Motorsport and Baron Racing team, it is Philippe Baron. And for ML Fry Racing, our race winner, Giacomo Altoe. Next, we will have the Trofeo Pirelli AM podium.
Third on the podium, Hanno Laskowski.
Here comes Hanno Laskowski then, who picks up P3 for ML Fry Racing. For Scuderia Prague, Hendrik Viol, P2. And taking his first win in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM Europe, it's Andrew Morrow.
National anthem.
Trophy presentation once again will be the responsibility of our Ferrari factory driver Niklas Nielsen. Before then, Charles Hurst represented on the podium, of course.
The trophy are presented by our official driver, Ferrari factory driver Niklas Nielsen.
He makes the trophy presentation to Hanno Laskowski.
Second driver on the podium.
Laura Villars also down there to salute her peers up there on the podium. As Hendrik Viol has received his trophy, and now Andrew Morrow receives his race winner's trophy.
For you, Charles Hurst and
Charles Hurst also in receipt of the Copa Dealer Award, and now here's Lucio Vigani with the Pirelli trophy as well. So all the drivers will get together for the photographs.
Stay with us, stay with us. Okay, and the driver, please, on the first step of this podium. Okay, thank you very much. And here.
Charles Hurst have had enough. Yeah, not going to get involved in the champagne business that's going to go on. So many congratulations to all of our drivers then. Lucio and Niklas make haste their escape before the celebrations, and it's going to be Hanno Laskowski who's quickest with the champagne. May have been P3 in the race, it was P1 in the champagne race. Well done to all our drivers. And here are the cars that pushed their drivers to their respective podium positions. For ML Fry Racing, Hanno Laskowski, P3. For Scuderia Prague then, Hendrik Viol, P2. And taking victory in the Ferrari Challenge Europe in Trofeo Pirelli Am for Charles Hurst, it's Andrew Morrow. So there we have it then, our Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli Am Race 1 done here in Balaton Park. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye for now.